والثمار وجميع ما خلقت على أرضك وما بين سماواتك من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد نجوم السماء من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ملء أرضك مما حملت وأقلت من قدرتك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت في 7 بحارك مما لا يعلم علمه إلا أنت وما أنت خالقه فيها إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد ملء 7 بحارك وصل على سيدنا محمد زنة 7 بحارك مما حملت وأقلت من قدرتك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد أمواج بحارك من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد الرمل والحصى في مستقر الأرضين وسهلها وجبالها من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد اضطراب المياه العذبة والملحة من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقته على جديد أرضك في مستقر الأرضين شرقها وغربها سهلها وجبالها وأوديتها وطريقها وعامرها وغامرها إلى سائر ما خلقته عليها وما فيها ومدر وحجر من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي عدد نبات الأرض من قبلتها وشرقها وغربها وسهلها وجبالها وأوديتها وأشجارها وثمارها وأوراقها وزروعها وجميع ما يخرج من نباتها وبركاتها من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت من الجن والإنس والشياطين وما أنت خالقه منهم إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد كل شعرة في أبدانهم وفي وجوههم وعلى رؤوسهم منذ خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد خفقان الطير وطيران الجن والشياطين من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد كل بهيمة خلقتها على جديد أرضك من صغير أو كبير في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها من إنسها وجنها ومما لا يعلم علمه إلا أنت من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد خطاهم على وجه الأرض من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد من يصلي عليه وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد من لم يصل عليه وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد القطر والمطر والنبات وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد كل شيء. اللهم وصل على سيدنا سيدنا محمد في الليل إذا يغشى وصل على سيدنا محمد في النهار إذا تجلى وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرة والأولى وصل على سيدنا محمد شابا زكيا وصل على سيدنا محمد كهلا مرضيا وصل على سيدنا محمد منذ كان في المهد صبيا وصل على سيدنا محمد حتى لا يبقى من الصلاة شيء. اللهم وأعط سيدنا محمدا المقام المحمود الذي وعدته الذي إذا قال صدقته وإذا سأل أعطيته. اللهم وأعظم برهانه وشرف بنيانه وأبلج حجته وبين فضيلته. اللهم وتقبل شفاعته في أمته واستعملنا بسنته وتوفنا على ملته واحشرنا في زمرته وتحت لوائه واجعلنا من رفقائه وأوردنا حوضه واسقنا بكأسه وانفعنا بمحبته اللهم آمين. وأسألك بأسمائك التي دعوتك بها أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد عدد ما وصفت ومما لا يعلم علمه إلا أنت أن ترحمني وتتوب علي وتعافيني من جميع البلاء والبلوى وأن تغفر لي وترحم المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات وأن تغفر لعبدك المذنب الخاطئ الضعيف وأن تتوب عليه إنك غفور رحيم. اللهم آمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم إني أسألك بحق ما حمل كرسيك من عظمتك وقدرتك وجلالك وبهائك وسلطانك وبحق اسمك المخزون المكنون الذي سميت به نفسك وأنزلته في كتابك واستأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك. وأسألك باسمك الذي إذا دعيت به أجبت وإذا سئلت به أعطيت. وأسألك باسمك الذي وضعته على الليل فأظلم وعلى النهار فاستنار وعلى السماوات فاستقلت وعلى الأرض فاستقرت وعلى الجبال فرست وعلى الصعبة فذلت وعلى ماء السماء فسكبت وعلى ماء السحاب فأمطرت. وأسألك بما سألك به سيدنا محمد نبيك وأسألك بما سألك به سيدنا آدم نبيك وأسألك بما سألك به أنبياؤك ورسلك وملائكتك المقربون صلى الله عليهم أجمعين. وأسألك بما سألك به أهل طاعتك أجمعين أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت من قبل أن تكون السماء مبنية والأرض مطحية والجبال مرسية والعيون منفجرة والأنهار منهمرة والشمس مضحية والقمر مضيئا والكواكب منيرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد علمك وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد حلمك وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما أحصاه اللوح المحفوظ من علمك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما جرى به القلم في أم الكتاب عندك وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد.
intention that you are with Allah. Say, Ya Rabbi, the whole week I'm running away from you, I'm forgetting you. Now I just want to sit with you a little bit. Everything else should take a back seat. And I'm only going to remember you. You are never forgetting me. Help me to remember you. That way, according to your intention, inshallah, we will be blessed and rewarded. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. BismillahirRahmanirRahim. Shahadat al-Sharif 3 times. Astaghfirullah al-Azim 70 times. Fatihat al-Sharif 7 times. Salawat al-Sharif 10 times. Alam Nashrah al-Sharif 7 times. Ikhlas al-Sharif 11 times. Fatiha al-Sharif 7 times. Salawat al-Sharif 10 times.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما والحقني بالصالحين آمنا بالله صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إلى شرف النبي المصطفى صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وصحبه الكرام ولا مشايخنا فتريك تنشب بنيت العليا خاصة روح إمام طارق وأوثر الخالق إخوان الشهباد إلى شمس البخاري سلطان الأولياء شرف إصدار الثاني من الفقراء سليفات رباني سلطان الأولياء كفة الإسلام صاحب الزمان شيخ سلطان مولانا محمد ناظم عبد الحقاني ختم خواج قام الخالق الخجواني صاحب السيف شامل كبس رباني ولا سادتنا والصديق
الفاتحة. فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد حبيب الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفيع الله حسبي ربي يسير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم على بذكر الله تطمئن قلوب بلى الله الله الله الله الله الله الله الله الله الله
Allah ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Hasbinallah ni'mel vekil. Hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak, hak. Hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay, hay. Hasbunallah ni'mel vekil, ni'mel mevla, ni'mel nasir. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حق، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي، الله والله حي. الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا قيوم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا قدوس، الله يا قدوس، الله يا قدوس، الله يا قدوس، الله يا عظيم، الله يا عظيم، الله يا عظيم، الله يا عظيم، الله يا سبحان، الله يا سبحان، الله يا سبحان، الله يا سبحان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا سلطان، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا فتاح، الله يا فتاح، الله يا فتاح، الله يا فتاح، الله يا ستار، الله يا ستار، الله يا ستار، الله يا ستار، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا كريم، الله يا ولي، الله يا ولي، الله يا ولي، الله يا ولي، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا علي، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا عليم، الله يا شهيد، الله يا شهيد، الله يا شهيد، الله يا شهيد، الله يا احد، الله يا احد، الله يا احد، الله يا احد، الله يا صمد، الله يا صمد، الله يا صمد، الله يا صمد، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا سميع، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا بصير، الله يا غفار، الله يا غفار، الله يا غفار، الله يا غفار، الله يا غفور، الله يا غفور، الله يا غفور، الله يا غفور، الله يا رحمن، الله يا رحمن، الله يا رحمن،
Allah hay ya Rahman, Allah hay ya Rauf, Allah hay ya Rauf, Allah hay ya Rauf, Allah hay ya Rauf, Allah hay ya Rahim, Allah hay ya Rahim, Allah hay ya Rahim, Allah hay ya Rahim, Allah hay ya Alim, Allah hay ya Alim, Allah hay ya Alim, Allah hay ya Alim, Allah hay ya Rezak, Allah hay ya Rezak, Allah hay ya Rezak, Allah hay ya Rezak, Allah hay ya Gani, Allah hay ya Gani, Allah hay ya Gani, Allah hay ya Gani, Allah hay ya Latif, Allah hay ya Latif, Allah hay ya Latif, Allah hay ya Latif, Allah hay ya Cami, Allah hay ya Cami, Allah hay ya Cami, Allah hay ya Cami, Allah hay ya Reşid, Allah hay ya Reşid, Allah hay ya Reşid, Allah hay ya Reşid, Allah hay ya Hamid, Allah hay ya Hamid, Allah hay ya Hamid, Allah hay ya Hamid, Allah hay ya Selam, Allah hay ya Selam, Allah hay ya Selam, Allah hay ya Selam, Allah hay ya Eman, Allah hay ya Eman, Allah hay ya Eman, Allah hay ya Eman, Allah hay ya Cemal, Allah hay ya Cemal, Allah hay ya Cemal, Allah hay ya Cemal, Allah hay ya Celal, Allah hay ya Celal, Allah hay ya Celal, Allah hay ya Celal, Allah hay ya Cebbar, Allah hay ya Cebbar, Allah hay ya Cebbar, Allah hay ya Cebbar, Allah hay ya Kahhar, Allah hay ya Kahhar, Allah hay ya Kahhar, Allah hay ya Kahhar, Allah hay ya Kadir, Allah hay ya Kadir, Allah hay ya Kadir, Allah hay ya Kadir, Allah hay ya Muktedir, Allah hay ya Muktedir, Allah hay ya Muktedir, Allah hay ya Muktedir, Allah hay ya Fetah, Allah hay ya Fetah, Allah hay ya Fetah, Allah hay ya Fetah, Allah hay ya Sultan, Allah hay ya Sultan, Allah hay ya Sultan, Allah hay ya Sultan, Allah hay ya Sabur, Allah hay ya Sabur, Allah hay ya Sabur, Allah hay ya Sabur, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah, Allah hay ya Allah. Hasbunallah ni'mal vakil, ni'mal mevla, ni'mal nasir. Ve la havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnna Allah ve melaiketehu yusalluna alen nebi. Ya eyyühellezine amenu sallu aleyhi ve sellimu teslima. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Allahümme salli ala Muhammedin ve ala ali Muhammedin ve sellim. Salli ya Rabbi ve sellim ala cemil enbiya mussalin ve ali kullin ecmain velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Ala eşrafil alemina seyyidina Muhammedin salavat. Ala ekmelil alemina seyyidina Muhammedin salavat.
على أشرف العالمين سيدنا محمد الصلوات
صلوات الله تعالى وملائكته وأنبيائه ورسله وجميع الخلق إلى محمد وعلى آل محمد عليه وعليهم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. ورضي الله تبارك وتعالى عن سادتنا أصحاب رسول الله أجمعين ونتابعين بهم بإحسان ولمة المجتهدين الماضين وعن علماء المتقين والأولياء الصالحين ومشايخنا في طريقة نقشبندية العلية قدس الله تعالى الزكية ونور الله تعالى روحة المباركة وعاد الله تعالى بركاتهم وفداتهم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
الفاتحة. سبحان ربي العلي العلي الوهاب.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جعل الله إياكم من يستجب شفاعته وأرجو من الله رحمة ورأفته. اللهم بحرمة هذا النبي الكريم وآله وأصحابه السالكين على منهاجه القويم اجعلنا من خير أمته والسنة بذيل حرمته واحشرنا في زمرته وسمل ألسنتنا في مدحه ونصرته وحنا متمسكين بسنته وطاعته ومتنا اللهم على حبه وجماعته. اللهم ادخل مع الجنة فلما ندخلها وانزل ما في قصورها فلو أن من ينزلها وارحمنا ما يشفي الخلائق فترحمها. اللهم ارزقنا زيارته في كل سنة ولا جمعنا فيك ولا عنه قبل سنة. اللهم ارجم بأتي ذنوبا وستت برضا المغفرة عيوبا. اللهم انه كان معنا في السنة الماضية في مثلها فلا من فضله رحمهم الله. اللهم ارحمنا واصحاب القبور وفبق الأبكار سنة وعلى ممر الدهور. اللهم اجعلنا لآلائك ذاكرين ولمائك شاكرين واليوم لقاك من الذاكرين وحين بطاعتك مشغولين وإذا توفيتنا فتوفنا غير مفتونين ولا مخذولين واختم لنا بخير أجمعين. اللهم اكفنا شر الظالمين. اللهم اكفنا شر الظالمين. اللهم اكفنا شر الظالمين واجعل من فتاة هذه الدنيا سالمين. اللهم اجعل هذا الرسول لنا شفيعا وارزقنا به يوم القيامة مقاما رفيعا. اللهم اسقنا من حوض نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم شربة هنيئة ما نبذ وحشة وغدا. اللهم اغفر لنا به ولما شيخنا الملمين وذو الحقوق علينا ولمن أجل هذا الخير في هذه الساعة ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك أنت قريب مجيب الدعوات وقاضي الحاجات وقاضي الحاجات وقاضي الحاجات وغفر الذنوب والخطيئات يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ya Rabbi, please bless our grand Sheikh Subhanahu Ya Sheikh Maulana Muhammad Nazman Al-Kani. Ya Rabbi, please bless our Sheikh Sahib Sheikh Abdul Karim Kusi Rabbani. Ya Rabbi, raise them to higher and higher and higher stations. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, give long life, healthy life, strong life to Sheikh Luqman Effendi. Ya Rabbi, make us to be better ones to him. Ya Rabbi, make us to be better ones in this way. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, let us to keep our faith. Ya Rabbi, let us to have intelligence. Ya Rabbi, let us to have modesty. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, let us to be in safety in this world. Ya Rabbi, let us to be safety in the next life. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, make us to be those ones who are having the control of our egos in our hands, Ya Rabbi. Don't make us to be slave to our ego, Ya Rabbi. Don't make us to be slave to our desires, Ya Rabbi, to our shaitan, to this dunya, Ya Rabbi. Ya Rabbi, make us to be your servants, Ya Rabbi. Make us to be the servants of your holy Prophet, Islam, Ya Rabbi. Make us to be the servants of the ones that you love, Ya Rabbi. Ya Rabbi, in this holy month of the Mawlid of Holy Prophet, Islam, Ya Rabbi, we're asking you to help his ummah, Ya Rabbi, to help the ummah that he loves, Ya Rabbi, to help the ummah that he's praying for, Ya Rabbi. Ya Rabbi, help the ummah that's under suffering, Ya Rabbi. Help the ummah that lost its way, Ya Rabbi. Ya Rabbi, help us to come back to the way, Ya Rabbi. Help us to come back to have a Khalifa again, Ya Rabbi. To have a Sultan again, Ya Rabbi. To have a Padishah again, Ya Rabbi. To be under your Shariat again, Ya Rabbi. Ya Rabbi, bring our honor back, Ya Rabbi. Bring it through the ones that you love, Ya Rabbi. Let us to be with the ones that you love, Ya Rabbi. Don't separate us from them, Ya Rabbi. For the sake of this holy night, Ya Rabbi. For the sake of our Shaykh, Ya Rabbi.
Ya Rabbi, iki cihan severi Muhammed Mustafa'ya salat ve selam eyle Ya Rabbi. Dergahımızın bayinisi Efendimiz sahibi Seyf Şeyh Abdülkerim Kıbrıs Rabbani Hazretleri'nin makamını âli eyle Ya Rabbi. Gönüllerimizin sahibi Şeyhimiz Şeyh Luqman Efendi sağlığa, sıhhat, afiyet, güç, kuvvet nasip eyle Ya Rabbi. Yolunu açık tut Ya Rabbi. Ayağına taş değdirme Ya Rabbi. Sevdiklerinin hürmetine bu garip aciz kullarının cümle ihvanımız ve kafi iman ehlini zalimin zulmünden, nefsi hilesinden, şeytanın vesvesinden, deccalin ve ahir zamanın fitnesinden, cehennem ateşinden koru kolla Ya Rabbi. Amin Ya Rabbi. Adaletin timsali olan mübarek Osmanlı ecdadımızın ruhlarını şad eyle Ya Rabbi. Himmetlerini her daim üzerimizde eyle Ya Rabbi. Ümmetin üzerine ilahi gölge olan halifemiz geri gönder Ya Rabbi. Samimi ilan ehlini tek sancak altında toplayacak olan Mehdi Aleyhisselam'ın zuhuratının yakın eyle Ya Rabbi. Bizleri de o samimi imam ehli kullarını eyle Ya Rabbi. Meclisimizi mübarek eyle Ya Rabbi. Rızalından ayırma, daim eyle Ya Rabbi.
Estağfurullah. Estağfurullah, estağfurullah. Lazım الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. توبة عبد سليم شكر اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خالق نعوذ بك من شر ما صنع. يا وهاب يا وهاب يا وهاب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مفاتيح الأبواب يا مقلب القلوب والأبصار يا للمطهرين يا غياث مستغيثين يا حي يا قيوم يا ذو الجلال والإكرام وفي الأمر الله إن الله باس بالعباد. اللهم صلاة تنجينا من جميع أهوال وآثار وتقدير من جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بسعيات الله سلمت محمد ورحمت محمد يا أرحم الراحمين ارحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين فاعف عنا يا أرحم الراحمين يا غفر الذنوب يا ستر الغيوب يا فتح القلوب آمين آمين آمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد إلى شرف النبي المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مشايخنا حاصلنا شيخ سلطان صاحب السلام الفاتحة. اللهم صل وسلم. فاتحة. آمين. السلام عليكم. الحمد لله.
في الجنان رؤيته وارزقني صحبته وتوفني على ملته واسقني من حوضه مشربا رويا سائغا هنيئا لا نظمأ بعده أبدا إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم أبلغ روح سيدنا محمد مني تحية وسلاما. اللهم وكما آمنت بسيدنا محمد ولم أره فلا تحرمني في الجنان رؤيته. اللهم تقبل شفاعة سيدنا محمد الكبرى وارفع درجته العليا وآته سؤله في الآخرة والأولى كما آتيت سيدنا إبراهيم وسيدنا موسى. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد نبيك ورسولك وسيدنا إبراهيم خليلك وصفيك وسيدنا موسى كليمك ونجيك وسيدنا عيسى روحك وكلمتك وعلى جميع ملائكتك ورسلك وأنبيائك وخيرتك من خلقك وأصفيائك وخاصتك وأوليائك من أهل أرضك وسمائك. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد عدد خلقه ورضاء نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته وكما هو أهله وكلما ذكره الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكره الغافلون وعلى أهل بيته وعترته الطاهرين وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته وعلى جميع النبيين والمرسلين والملائكة والمقربين وجميع عباد الله الصالحين عدد ما أمطرت السماء منذ بنيتها. وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما أنبتت الأرض منذ دحوتها. وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد النجوم في السماء فإنك أحصيتها وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما تنفست الأرواح منذ خلقتها وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت وما تخلق وما أحاط به علمك وأضعاف ذلك اللهم صل عليهم عدد خلقك ورضاك.
What is necessary for a believer? Don't think that a believer, nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to change. Do not take your faith for granted. You do that, you're opening the door to shaitan. Subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, O believers, believe. O believers, believe. And in some other ayats it's saying, now things have changed, the messenger has passed, and now you're not going to believe. And the faith of a believer, what Prophet ﷺ is saying, if 2 days they are the same, what happens? You lose. And our today must be better than yesterday, and our tomorrow has to be better than today. So the believer watches the gauge. He is looking at his heart to see the gauge. How is my faith today? How is my faith? How was it yesterday? What is happening today that is causing the gauge to go up? My faith is increasing. What's happening today that the faith is decreasing? He's watching that. The believer is not looking at anything else. Anything else is periphery, to the side, not front. Because the business of a believer is to believe. And that belief has to increase. If it stays the same, you lose. And believe me, Shaitan is not running after the unbelievers. The unbelievers, he has the leash around their necks anyway. He's running after the believers. And people are thinking the first thing that they're going to do, if they come back to Islam, come back to belief, 99% is saying, I must change the outside first. Yes? In Muslim countries especially, I must change the outside first. How they dress. I must keep a beard now. I must cover my head. They're concentrating on that. It's okay, but it's not the best, because the faith is not from the outside. It's from the inside. 99% thinking, if I come back to religion, come back to Islam, come back to faith, first thing I want to do is, I'm going to read the Quran, or learn how to read the Quran. I'm going to read it every day. It's good to read the Quran. It's good to read the Quran every day. But you don't want to read the Quran like how the munafiqs and unbelievers also read the Quran. You want to read the Quran the way that believers read the Quran. How do believers read the Quran? Who are the best of the believers? The prophets, Sahabe Kiram. What do they do with that Quran Karim? They read, yes. But are they concentrating on the reading? What are they concentrating on? The Quran is true guidance. The Quran guides you. What were they doing with the teachings of the Quran? They were putting it in their lives. They were living their lifestyle. And they changed the whole world according to the lifestyle of the Prophet and lifestyle of the Quran, the walking Quran. They have a point also, some people who are opposed to Mawlid celebration. They say, Sahabe Kiram, they don't make Mawlid. Well, technically they did. They did a couple of things, yes. But if you mean Mawlid like today's celebration where everybody gathers together, they cook, they eat for days, for weeks. They make celebration like that every year, right? That we may say it's unlikely the Sahabe Kiram, they did that. Say, you see? So they didn't do that. Why are you doing that? But there is a reason why they didn't do that. What is the reason? What is the reason? Because for 23 years, they did not have time to sit and to celebrate. Because for 23 years of their lives, and for more than 1,000 years after, they were sacrificing their lives, their property, their wealth, their children, everything they have in the way of the Prophet, so that we can sit and have grand Mawlid celebrations. In principle, of course, they celebrated it. Not the way we do, yes, but they celebrate. Alhamdulillah, it's raining now. It is showing that it is accepted. Rahmat is coming down. Those of you who are maybe putting your ego aside a little bit, you understand that tonight's zikr is different. We are not here to, just because special this, special that, we're going to make special. No, we go according to the inspiration that is coming. And if it's necessary, we're going to say no. Because everyone is expecting it to be special, we're not going to make it special. When people least expect it, then we're going to show. That time the sincerity is going to come out. They were believers. They were sacrificing their lives, not for their own benefit, but for the benefit of the ummah, for the sake of that Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam. They lived for that and they died for that. They were fighting like this or like that. What were they fighting against? Injustice, oppression. Tyranny, cruelty. That all these things, they are not known as tyranny, oppression, and cruelty. It was part of the culture. It was institutionalized. They say, what? You're opposed to burying daughters in that sense? That's part of our culture. What? You're opposed that the slave is not going to sit next to the master? That's part of our culture. You're trying to change everything. Yes, they were trying to change everything. They did not expect anything in return. They were not trying to create. I don't like to use that word. Only Allah is a creator. They are not trying to make a perfect society. That's not the point. The point is so that mankind, the ummah, especially at that time, they have the choice of faith or unfaith. Before Islam, there was no choice. Now there is a choice. And it's brought, that choice was brought by the most beautiful, the most beloved one. And everything he brought and his whole lifestyle and the people that are around him is showing nothing but that. If you have that aim, then you're going to think, you're going to say, you're going to understand how today is compared to yesterday, how tomorrow you want it to be. They didn't start with something that is so huge. They started with something small, like this. Don't think, oh, when I am very rich, that time I'm going to be generous. When we are very big, that time I'm going to run harder. When we become important, that's when I'm going to struggle and help. If you're not doing it now, you're not going to do it then in the future. How you live is how you're going to die. And how you die is how you're going to be buried, and how you are buried is how you're going to be brought back again. Check our faith. That's the whole point I'm talking about. We call ourselves believers. Check it. Things that is preventing your faith from rising, fix it. Don't have time. Angel of death is blowing down your necks. You don't have time. Don't be so stupid, American type. No, I need time out. I need to go discover myself. As if the whole world is going to pause for you until you come to your own senses. And if you have people in front of you, you like it or you don't, you're saying, don't do it like that. This is better for you. And those who are guiding it is their job and their duty to say. Take it, you win for yourself. You resist it, you are just not being intelligent. Because you're going to come back to that station to realize, and you're going to do something about it. We don't have much of a choice. But you take your own time, you would have lost so much. Allah is swearing by time, and mankind is wasting it. We should not be. So check yourselves. Today must be better than yesterday. The work that is here, you must watch and you must make that to be the priority, not anything else. Everything else, you know that you want to always improve. But when it comes to the work of Allah, people become lazy and they leave it just like that. They get stuck or they regress. Don't be. Inshallah, Allah give us the strength to be able to fight against ourselves. May Allah forgive me. May Allah raise the station of our Shaykh. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum. Any questions? Say. Soila.
BismillahirRahmanirRahim. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Sometime back in one of your sohbet, you mentioned that after the veiling of Hazrat Maulana Shaykh Nazim Haqqani, things have changed globally in every aspect, whether it's political or regime change or social or institutional or environmental. This is a bit painful to see such things. However, you mentioned in these crises, the only solution is to hold on to your Shaykh. Clearly, that is the only solution for our safety. Could you also suggest a solution to keep our heart peaceful and at ease?
These changes are very heartbreaking and painful. We have seen the era of good times, then the transition era. But suddenly this era of crises is putting more confusion than clarity.
BismillahirRahmanirRahim. How to find your heart at ease. This is Akhir Zaman. This is second Jahiliyyah. In the first Jahiliyyah, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, what would cause distress to the hearts of the Sahabi Kiram? What would cause ease to their hearts? So many things can cause distress. Seeing, understanding a little bit, and looking at this situation now. If you are distressed by what this world is, how this world is turning, it's good. Don't be at ease. Don't be comfortable in this world. Don't say, it's normal, it's okay. You laugh with it, and no, don't. Don't assume everything bad that is here is okay. It is not. Turn your face away. Your heart should not be normal about it. It should still be wrong and strange and bad. Turn your face. Even if you cannot do anything about it, you know by your heart inside. So in the time of the Sahaba Kiram, what do you think makes their heart to be at ease? What makes their heart to be at ease? You say. The heart understands it is coming from somewhere. Everyone assumes your heart is yourself, belongs to you. It doesn't. Let's say what is most important in the heart is love. Love doesn't come from you. There's a creator of that love. And if you understand a little bit more, you understand that once upon a time all that love is together. Together with a source. Then when it's time for separation, they carry a little bit of that love everywhere, wherever they are. But the heart understands. That's why the feeling of love, it is not the feeling of completion. It is a feeling that I have to connect to my beloved to be complete. It is not, I fall in love, okay, I'm complete, I don't need anything else. Yes? You ever hear someone fall in love? Okay, I don't need my beloved, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm complete now. That's self-worship. Then you understand the heart then is going to pull to the beloved. Because you say, I'm part of him. That will bring me peace. Anything can happen in this world. This whole world can turn into a fire. But when my heart is with my beloved, then there is going to be ease. Sahaba Kiram, whatever that was happening to them, their hearts are at ease. Because their hearts are with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And they were not just with the Prophet to say, I love you. So their love was not selfish. To say, I love him, so I feel really good. They start to love him, and they say, now I'm starting to feel what he's feeling. And he is the mercy to the universes, and he has love and pity to everything. Now I must have that. I'm feeling that. the burden he's carrying, I'm feeling a little bit of that too. As much as I love that one, I can carry that burden more, because I know that to carry it is to ease him. So now, yes, we're saying hold on to the Shaykh, but holding on means what? There's a whole ocean of meaning to holding on. When Allah is saying be with the Salihin, there's a whole ocean of meaning to be with the Salihin. Shaykh Effendi says it very clearly. Be with them doesn't just be with them, serve them, love them, learn from them. Whose examples do we have? Sahabe Kiram. They're saying that I love the Prophet ﷺ. You think that love is the same kind of a love that this whole world is now saying that we love Rasulullah ﷺ? This is his month. Everyone is saying we love you. His heart is still crying because the orphans are still being tyrannized. The widows are still being taken advantage of. There is still zulm in this world. There is still injustice more than it was before. He came to bring more of that peace of Allah. And the Muslims now are knowing all this is worse than what it was before. And there is no real desire to change anything. But we sit and we say, we love you, Ya Rasulullah. And something is wrong. So you want peace of heart, peace of mind. You want peace to enter into your heart, then enter into the heart of your beloved. That's where you belong. Then once you enter into the heart of your beloved, you will have that peace to know that you are with the one that you love. But you don't stop there, because your heart will now start beating with the same beat as your beloved, and then where he sees, you're going to see. Where he feels, you're going to feel. Where he touches, you're going to touch. And all of that he's doing is not for himself. He's doing it again for the ummah. He's not just doing it to please his Lord. Because so many times his Lord is saying, didn't we tell you? It's not going to make too much of a difference whether you speak to them or you don't, whether you want them or you don't. Already the truth is there. Didn't we tell you not to worry about it so much? Didn't we tell you? And Allah is saying to us, that one has such tremendous pity for you. When he was born, he is declaring Allah's oneness. He spoke, yes. And this is another thing I'm seeing also in so many mawlids. Even when they just have, let's put aside all that other thing. When they have mawlids, they no longer speak about the Prophet ﷺ as if he is the greatest prophet. An extraordinary prophet, not only just an extraordinary man. A prophet is an extraordinary, but an extraordinary prophet. We don't hear so much of the miracles of his birth, or the miracles of himself, that in his cradle he was giggling, and when his nursemaid looked, and he was looking at the moon, and he was doing this, and the moon was going up and down, and he was laughing. He was playing with the moon, and the moon was playing, making him to laugh. So many things. Because we are so concerned now, we don't want to look like we are superstitious people. We are so concerned to prove our faith, not to Allah and His Prophet, but to this world, that we lose that beautiful, extraordinary connection to that most beautiful, extraordinary Prophet. Yes, so when he was born, there's only a handful of people in this world, when they were born, they were able to speak. One of them, of course, was who? Ruhullah, Hazrat Isa. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he went into sajda right after he was born, saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And he's saying, Inni Rasulullah. I am Rasul of Allah. As a baby, a newborn, what was his words after? O my nation, Ummati, Ummati. How do you have increase your love to the Prophet ﷺ? Many ways to increase your love. I'm seeing so many times people are just stuck with singing. And it gives a certain emotion when you're singing, there's a certain high. But understanding certain things, certain facts. I don't care what the Wahhabis are going to go crazy looking at this. They say, look, in 1 minute, he's saying 10 wrong things. I don't care. But when you remind people of this, it doesn't need too much songs or dance or anything. Instead of being so far away from him, he becomes very close to us. No? If something simple is in front of our eyes, we can almost see. This is what it needs. On the day of Mawlid, we brought the kids, no? And I tell them a couple of things. It's these things everybody knows already. But I said very simple things to the kids. I want to speak in their language. So what can they take? What can they understand? What can they remember? What can they take? I'm not interested in how much I know. I'm not interested in who's watching. I'm interested in them. Simple things. And when you start doing that, it does come from your heart, because I wasn't. Okay, I tell them something, this is what happened, okay. And then later, they does say, oh, that was such a beautiful sohbah. I said, what? Oh, they were so nice, it was so beautiful, and this and that. And of course I realized, because one of them said something very beautiful, and the person said, if only when we were young, somebody told us like this. And I said, that's true, because nobody really told me also. But why not? Is it so difficult? Why not? So whereas if the Mawlid is to increase the love that you have for the Prophet ﷺ, and the love that builds for everybody, for every station, while we're busy preaching to the adults, our kids are already taken hostage by this whole world, yes or no? Especially when you come to this country, every uncle, every auntie, that they make a masjid or they have a committee, is only for them. The little kids, they send them to the basement. Then they send them to Sunday school to learn Quran. And then they're shocked later on how their kids have double lives. And then the masjids that they built is emptying out. I worry how to make our kids. Yes, it's nice. They wear clothes, they eat food, and they see lights, and they get this presents and everything. But what more? What can we say about? How can we put that love there, that concern, that thought, that understanding of the Prophet, or a sultan, or a saint? It's not that difficult. But we have to try to understand them. When we do that, inshallah Rahman, Allah will have pity on us and mercy on us, because we're looking out for the weakest. This much is enough. Wa min Allahu tawfiq wa Fatiha. Amen. I'm not interested in ritual.
ثم اجعلني ممن لزم ملة نبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم